Hey, Brian Glass here, engineer at Newborn, and I'm going to go through the number of different bolt guns we have and how to choose the right bolt gun for the application that you'll be involved in. And as you get into bolt gun, do it more and more, you'll find out that really choosing a bolt gun is kind of based solely on preference. However, if it's your first time out of the gate using bulk, and you see our catalog, we have the widest spectrum of bolt guns on the market. It can be a little bit daunting to try to figure out which one's going to work best for you. So there are a couple general rules of thumb in how to choose the bolt gun, and I'm going to go through those with you today. So the two questions you're going to ask yourself when choosing a bolt gun is, number one, what's the thickness of your material or the viscosity, and number two, what volume you might want in the gun. We have everything from 6-to-1 thrust ratio in ratchet rod styles up to, through the smooth rod styles, up to 26-to-1 thrust ratio. We also have pneumatic style bolt guns. And the thickness, that number one question you're going to ask, is going to determine what thrust ratio you would want to use. And basically a thrust ratio, like I mentioned, the ratchet rod is 6-to-1. That means for every 1 pound of force that you're generating on the trigger here, it's going to be 6 times that force pushing the material out. So if I put 2 pounds of pressure, it's 12 pounds pushing the material out. So obviously if you have a thicker material, you generally want to use a gun that has a little higher thrust ratio. Temperature in wherever you're working is also going to play a role in that. Some materials, for example, will increase their viscosity. Will get thicker and harder as the temperature drops. So those things are going to come into play. And then the volume, for example, and I'll go in, each one of these that's sitting up here has a couple different volumes so for you to choose from when you get into, you selected, oh, this is the thrust ratio I want, this is the type of rod I want, and those things, then you're going to look at your volumes. Now to help you answer that first question, like how thick is my material and then what thrust ratio would I want, I'm going to run through our different series of bolt guns through our catalog. First one we'll look at, and this isn't in numeric order, but is the 400 series. These are our ratchet rod style guns. They have a 6-to-1 thrust ratio. And you jump up into our smooth rod versions. This is the 200 series. It utilizes a smooth rod, but this one is in particular is square. And that'll give you a 7-to-1 thrust ratio in the 200 series. The 300 series gives you a hex rod, and this one's going to give you a 12-to-1 thrust ratio. Our 600 series is a unique gun in that it also has a hex rod like the 300 series, but what it has on here on the top is our adjusted stroke. And what that does is in this position, where there's 2 letters here, EZ and S, and you'll see it when you look at the gun. When the S is pointed forward, you have a 7-to-1 thrust ratio, just like what was in the 200 series. But let's say you have you're using an even thicker material, or temperature's dropping, it's changing the viscosity of your material. I just spun the adjusted stroke around, and now I've got a 14-to-1 thrust ratio. Very unique in the bolt gun market, and that's on our 600 series. Also, it's also on our 800 series, and the difference between the 600 series and the 800 series is the barrel has been coated with a non-stick material, which helps to aid in drawing the material into the gun, helps aiding in cleaning up and things like that. And that's the difference between the 600 and the 800. The 900 series also has a smooth rod, but it's round. So we've had square, we've had hex, and now we have a round rod. This is the highest thrust ratio gun that we have. It's a 26-to-1 thrust ratio gun. And the last one is the pneumatic series. That's our 700 series, and it's 100 pounds PSI. And the nice thing about a pneumatic is you're not consistently squeezing the trigger. You just hold the trigger down to get a consistent flow of the material. Now to help you answer that second question in regards to volume on the gun, That's probably the easier of the two questions. And this is the 600 series. You'll see this is a 624 GTS. That means this is a 24 ounce gun. That's what the last two digits stand for. The 632 GTS would then be a 32 ounce gun. You'll see there's a difference in the length of the barrel. So, one of the things may be you don't have enough space where you're working and you have to go with a shorter gun. You also have to realize that once you fill the larger gun, it's going to be a little heavier. So if you're doing work overhead, you may not want to add the extra weight. We also have, in the 600 series, we have the 32 ounce, but in a shorter barrel but a larger diameter to get the same volume, and that's a 632C GTS. In all of the series from the 200, 300, 400, 6, 8, 9, and then the 700 pneumatic series, every one has a couple different options in the volumes to give you a choice when you're looking at the different bolt guns. Now, if you're looking for the largest capacity bolt gun that we have, that's in the 400 series, the ratchet rod style, and that's the 490 GTR. The reason it's in the ratchet rod style and has the lower thrust ratio of 6:1 is because when you get to a large diameter like this, one of the benefits of the ratchet rod is that because of the teeth system, the rod and the parts are longer lasting. You may find some bolt guns with a large capacity like this on the market, but they're going to be smooth rod and the parts wear out very quickly. And this is the 490 GTR. It's 88 ounces, and that is, again, our largest capacity bolt gun. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you have any further questions or are in need of any other information, please contact our customer service department. Thanks and have a great day.